Hi, thanks for joining us. My name is EJ. I am a Senior Relationship Manager at SSAT. Today we are going to be talking about lead practitioner accreditation. Lead practitioners play a pivotal role within all schools around the country. They are a really good driving force in terms of school improvement, and they're the ones who come up with some really good ideas and approaches that really support the school in terms of its long-term goals, and also as well students in terms of helping them to achieve their academic achievements. So today I'm really pleased to say we are joined by Christina Codlin of Bristol Hall Academy. Christina was accredited as a lead practitioner just last year. So today, hopefully, we're going to be finding out some more about her experience and just really what she thought of the program and see if it can help other people who might be interested. So Christina, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Okay, that's great. It's obviously really good to see you. Obviously, speaking to us from Bristol Hall Academy, they're a very good member of SSAT and have done lots with us. But I guess before we go into talking about other things, can you tell us a bit more about? Let's start from the beginning, really. Can you tell us a bit more about your kind of journey to date and how you found out about lead practitioner, and I guess more importantly, why you actually wanted to do it?
I've been at Bristol Hall for 6 years now, and as you kind of alluded to, they have a really strong relationship with SSAT, and the support that you give and run a lot of your programs in school. And when I heard about the lead practitioner project, I heard through our SLT, and I also spoke to some other of my colleagues that had done it previously. And it just sounded like a great opportunity in terms of enhancing my practice as a practitioner, becoming a more reflective practitioner, but also in terms of driving that school improvement and being able to have an impact outside of the class of my own classroom.
Okay, that sounds great. So in terms of how you've actually driven forward the practice within the school, what's the key area that you've actually focused on for your action research, which obviously plays a pivotal role in terms of your accreditation?
So my project for the accreditation was actually, it was based on action research. So it was leading action research within the school, so leading others to take part in action research within their own classroom. So my role within that was the facilitator for that action research, and then so I had participants kind of from all across the academy, from admin, teaching staff. So it wasn't just teaching staff, support staff, people from our learning support unit, all who wanted to carry out action research projects within their own areas. So I was really lucky in a sense that it had quite a vast impact because there were so many people involved, but from different areas that wouldn't necessarily collaborate. And then I would provide the opportunity for us all to meet together to discuss various projects, and have my colleagues help each other out, and again, like, build those relationships and those communication that they wouldn't necessarily have because they weren't from the same area of school.
Well, I mean, that sounds amazing. So I guess, not I guess, but a huge part of the lead practitioner is the fact that anyone within the school can actually be accredited within lead practitioner anyway. So, I mean, the fact that you've actually got so many colleagues from different areas and obviously with different responsibilities to be involved, that must have been an amazing experience, kind of like experience for them. So I guess in terms of as you say, I mean, it's had a massive impact in terms of the school. What's that kind of impact been? Is there maybe one thing that you might say, or maybe one or two things you might say in terms of?
I think it's helped in terms of how we as an academy see professional development, and it's given everybody the opportunity to see that they can drive their own professional development, and that they can they can pick something that they are passionate about and they're interested in, and that can be their professional development for the year, rather than quite old-fashioned, like, whole school PD that you all are subjected to. It was very much everybody was free to pursue like what they wanted to do, which is really nice, and it's helped us become become educators through evidence-based practice.
Wow, that's amazing. So kind of like touching in terms of maybe again, obviously you've had a huge experience with lead practitioner, and as you're saying just now, in terms of the colleagues and how you've actually moved forward with what you want to do in terms of your career as well, really. But what kind of skills would you say have been developed, or maybe have you made any, or been able to enhance any new skills or so as well? Because there are obviously 10 key skills within the lead practitioner accreditation that you need to make sure you adhere to, and obviously do get up to speed on as well. Is there anything in particular you say you've maybe excelled in, or maybe areas that which you're still looking to develop or so as well?
I think what I've taken away from it and how it has helped me in terms of probably leadership and coaching, and working with people that I wouldn't necessarily work with, but also like I found the coaching sessions really, really powerful and really, really helpful in terms of different ways to spread influence and to have that impact, beyond just your own classroom. And just as a leadership style, it's something that I'd never done before. And it was something that I think I carry through now, and I'm still practicing, still training, still, refining the technique of coaching. But for me, that was the best part about it. It was learning how sometimes you need to take a step back, and, and not be afraid to take that step back as well, and kind of actually these ideas that are coming from the people that they're way better than anything that I could have thought of.
Wow, I mean, that sounds amazing. So I guess obviously, as you're saying, in terms of your leadership practice, or just your leadership skills or so as well, you've been able to have a much more broader scope in terms of, as you say, just everyone within the school, and obviously appreciating their responsibilities, and obviously in context of what you're doing, and I guess with the SLT as well. So I guess another question in terms of the program there as well. So with it, obviously, we're still being in terms of, or in the midst, I should say, of a global pandemic or so. Is there anything that you've needed to change or so in terms of how you actually carried out your action research because of that as well? Because again, being quite adaptive and also, I guess, reactive to certain respects is an important part of the accreditation.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously when COVID hit, it was all just a bit, for everyone everywhere, no one knew what was going on, and we had to change to kind of like an online model. So the collaboration that we were doing in school, we then were doing through Microsoft Teams, and I think it was really, I was really appreciative of the fact that SSAT said, because originally I was meant to meet an earlier deadline, but then SSAT said that because of what is going on, if you need to meet the later deadline, that's fine. And that was really, really helpful, because I think in the first instance, in the first lockdown, in those first few months, the priority was just kind of delivering remote education, and everything else had to take a back burner. So I was really grateful that we were given that opportunity from SSAT to kind of prolong the process.
Yeah. So I guess, do you feel that's developed you, being able to help you a bit more in terms of your general practice? Because I guess in terms of being able to, obviously being a leader or so, then these kind of things, obviously not a global pandemic maybe, but there are lots of things which do come up at the last minute or so, which you do need to adapt to also. Do you think that the fact that you've had to adapt in that way so quickly, do you feel that's really helped you
Yeah.
to drive you towards?
Yeah, definitely, and it kind of taught me that you never know what's going to happen. The best laid plans can completely change last minute, and it is important to be respectful of that, and to be respectful of others as well, and kind of what is going on for them might be quite different for what's going on for you. So if you have arranged to do XYZ, and actually they say, no, actually I can't do that anymore, it's being understanding of that, and having that appreciation that way. And then I was thinking as well, just in terms of the technology, because that's almost like another standard, isn't it, of the project. So actually being forced to use the technology to kind of do that was really, it was great, because it's probably I wouldn't have done it that way if we hadn't been in this situation.
Wow, okay. So I guess kind of like we touched on there in terms of your best laid plans and obviously having to adapt anyway. But in terms of your best laid plans, I guess, you know, linking that to expectations, I guess you might have had certain expectations about the program before you started. Has that, I don't know, now obviously you've been through the accreditation and you are now accredited. Have your expectations, I don't know, were your expectations met or were they exceeded, or was there anything different that you thought you might be doing or so?
I think in terms of, I think because the way that from who I'd spoken to prior, they'd given me a very clear kind of outline of exactly what to expect, what would be expected of me. I think it was actually a lot more free than I thought it would be in terms of like my ability to guide my own learning and my own project. I think it's great how SSAT kind of allow you to have that freedom of choice rather than just, you know, having to go down a certain path. I think that the scope there. So what I would say to people is, don't always think like whatever your project you want to do, you will probably be able to accommodate it within the program because there is that flexibility there.
Okay. So actually, I mean, you lead me on to my next question, really. So in terms of maybe some advice you might give to anyone else, maybe from your school or from other schools who are potentially looking to become a lead practitioner or just really interested in the program, what maybe other advice would you give them in terms of your experience and how you found things?
I think I would definitely say, you know, give it a go. I think this is something that's potentially it could be open to anybody. Like we're all, you know, we're all teaching practitioners, and this is something that really helps you enhance your own practice as well as have that scope across the board. And that, you know, it really, the way that the program is guided, the way that the sessions that are provided, the way that you need to reflect on certain things, it really helps you develop as, you know, as a teaching expert, really. And then I think a piece of something I maybe would have done differently would be I would have started the write-up probably a lot earlier, because I think, again, because of the flexibility that's there, so you can you can write up a section, but then because you're not submitting it until the end, you can go back and you can retweak and you can refine it. So actually it's something that you can do as you go rather than just wait until the end and then write it up.
Sure, really good advice there. So so just kind of like rounding up then, so obviously you've been through the program now, and obviously everything you talked about in terms of leadership and how it's obviously impacted you and the colleagues and also the school as a whole. Would you say there's been maybe one light bulb moment, or what would your light bulb moments be throughout the course of the program?
I think probably my light bulb moment is whatever you decide to do, whatever you want, whatever decision you make, you always need to make sure that it's rooted in what's best for the students. And if it's not going to have an impact, then you need to leave it behind and you need to do something else. I think that would be my main takeaway, is that the students need to form the basis of all decisions that you make.
Great. Okay. That's a really good roundup then. So yeah, Christina, thank you for joining me today here. Hopefully, again, wish you all the best for your career, also at Bristol Hall Academy, and be really looking forward to seeing how you develop also. So yeah, once again, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. So so just to round up, obviously that was lead practitioner. So hopefully that's given you a good idea in terms of the program itself. Obviously it's available at SSAT. If you do want to find out any more details about it, then please do drop a line to us. You can contact us on RM team, that's Romeo Mike team, at ssat.co.uk, or we'll be able to get in contact with you for a phone call. So hopefully you'll join us next time, and thanks again for joining me. Bye-bye.